fuck with that hair.
You like that? Aw, thanks, babe. So nice. Speaking of hair, someone has too much of it.
It's not you?
No, it's not me. Well, I don't know. Y'all can be the judge of that. Do I have too much hair? It's getting long. So is Sophie's hair. Sophie's hair is getting very, very long, so it's time for a grooming session. She hasn't had a grooming session since we've had her. She's gotten a lot fluffier, so it's time to do a little snip snip.
You ready to get your hair cut, Sophie? Sophie? Sophie. There you go. You ready to get your hair cut? Yes. Yes.
She's also getting a little smelly, so a little wash too.
Yeah.
How's that coffee?
It's good.
I asked Charisma for iced coffee the other day, and ever since then she's been addicted, and we've since bought Ready Whip and caramel drizzle on top because she has just fallen right back into her barista ways.
It's become a problem. I can't function without my coffee. So give me about 5 minutes before my energy hits.
Let me check my non-existent watch.
You don't even wear your watch on that hand, do you?
Yeah, I do. I'm right hand.
Oh, they wore it on your left hand.
All right, so while Sophie is out getting groomed, she's getting like her toenails clipped. She's getting her ears shortened, or hair shortened on her ears.
What the heck?
No. She's getting the full works, and we will have to report back in 3 hours because it's gonna take a while.
So she asked us how long we want her hair. We've never gotten our hair cut, so I was like, Cole was like, half an inch, and I was like, an inch? So we settled on 3/4 of an inch.
Yeah, 3/4 of an inch.
Or 3/4 of an inch. So hopefully it doesn't look too short. And then we told her to shorten her face, but like don't cut it all off, like her body. And so she was like, oh, like a teddy bear look. And we were like, yes.
Yes?
Hopefully that looks good.
Yeah, we'll see.
We're really nervous that she's gonna look wild.
Who knows? we're learning.
We'll show y'all in 3 hours.
Yes, but anyway, while she's getting groomed, we wanted to talk with people about something that we've been doing that we feel has been very beneficial for us. Are we good here?
Yeah, sorry. But yes, we were getting a lot of questions on Instagram because we made a post talking about something we've been doing. One of the questions, which I was surprised to hear, was, why are you getting couples therapy? Is your marriage in trouble? And then I was just like, man, like it seems like it's a common thought that you go to therapy when there's a problem rather than going to therapy just to build your bond stronger before there's a problem.
Yeah, we have a lot of clergy on my side of the family, and many of them have done couples therapy or like marriage counseling. Their number one piece of advice is to do that before there are problems.
Yeah.
Because we've learned what it is teaching you how to deal with your problems. Because every couple's gonna have problems. That's inevitable. If you don't have problems, then y'all are like unicorns or something.
I know, the perfect person,
right.
perfect people.
So most of our sessions are like developing skills. He's given us tools that we can use when we have disagreements or have issues or have problems or just have concerns that we want to raise with each other.
We started premarital therapy first, and we talked about it in a video. And so we started that, what, like 2 months before our wedding?
Yeah, I think so.
And then we continued it 2 months after our wedding. So we stopped like few weeks ago just because it is costly, and we do recognize that, and we felt like we were at a good spot. We didn't have anything to talk about, like things were good. He was like, oh, how's everything? We're like, great. How's your kid? Like, you know, we didn't know what to talk about anymore because like we felt great.
And that wasn't always the case because there were other sessions where like, so we had this argument and we wanted to like, we were waiting for the opportunity to break it down and work through it. But part of the reason we felt comfortable stopping is because we grew a lot. I think over that like 4 or 5 months we were doing it, we grew a lot and we felt it in our relationship. Whenever we had a disagreement or something, like we started to recognize some of our bad tendencies because we identified like some of the things we have a hard time with. Like mine is I get really defensive and I have a hard time like getting over that and then like trying to work through something because I'm just trying to defend myself. So like I learned to sort of just let that wall come down, then you can have a more productive conversation. And so we've started using these tools and it's made a difference.
You know, it's funny, I think my biggest thing was just being a little more patient and understanding. And that was something I really needed to work on. And it's funny because I did like a little podcast recently with a couple, and he had mentioned that he found that I was very patient. And I just thought it was so funny because I don't think I am that patient. And that's one of the biggest things I'm working on. You know, I think I'm patient when it comes to like caring for Cole, because I have a different mentality when it comes to that. But when it comes to other things, I'm not as patient. So it's really interesting when people like point that out about me.
I think you're very patient. Thanks. I just think I'm a lot to deal with.
No, you're not. I don't think so. I think our relationship is unique. And so the reason we got couples therapy is just because our relationship was unique and we had, you know, caregiving in the middle of just being married and being together. And so we did talk about that with him a lot, like, you know, roles and me being honest, me expressing myself, and then Cole also expressing himself and being honest and me listening. So there was a lot of like learning, not that we had problems, but we wanted to like make our relationship and our bond stronger, and we felt like this was a great way to do it.
Not only is it unique because of the caregiving, but it's also unique because we have a business together.
Yeah.
So whether it's just like doing caregiving stuff, just like living day to day, or having fun together, or actually working, it's just all us for the most part. So
24/7.
Yeah. Anyone's patience would be tested spending that much time around somebody.
Yeah.
Luckily, we're freaking soulmates, so it works.
Yeah. It is great. We do have our moments too where we've learned to like kind of do our own thing. And so now that I have my guitar, I like come and practice guitar, and Cole plays like Rocket League for 3 hours. And so we find our balance.
Another side of this is the first time I've been in a long-term relationship, and this is the first time I've been living on my own, especially after my injury.
Yeah.
And so I've been doing a lot of growing, and there are a lot of growing pains that come along with that. That's part of like what Chris was saying about like understanding and stuff, is like I'm coming from a much different world because she was totally independent at 18, like doing her own thing. That's a very different world to come from. We're just having to figure that part out too.
Yeah, I think, you know, no one's parents raised anyone better. We were just raised differently. So my parents had a different upbringing, and, you know, so did Cole's parents, and then they both raised us differently. And then we are both two individual people with different personalities. And so my
relationship, I had a spinal cord injury, which is very different.
Yes, and so my relationship with my parents is different from Cole's relationship with his parents. Coming together, you know, we have two different worlds that we're combining, and we had to like step back and realize, okay, what I think is normal and what I think should be, you know, something you learned years ago, and vice versa. Same with Cole. We realized I didn't know certain things that he knew, and he didn't know certain things that I knew. So
those growing pains have led to like arguments, and then we just have learn to better understand each other and better communicate with each other through marital counseling. And so this is something that we think that we'll probably continue like down the road. It's like maybe we'll do a couple months every year or something like that, just to make sure we're maintaining those tools and we continue practicing.
Many people have this perception, and there's like the stigma surrounding therapy, in that you only go to therapy when there's a problem or when you need to heal. And I think therapy can be useful for many different things, and I'm such a big advocate for therapy. Like, I wish everyone got therapy because it is so beneficial to everyone, and you become a better person to other people when you heal yourself. And a lot of people don't realize, you know, what they have going on inside of them until they talk to someone, you know, who is knowledgeable and who can give great feedback. And so even through doing couples therapy, Cole and I also felt like we got individual help with things that we grew up thinking. We realized like that's something in us that we need to change to be a better partner to each other.
Right, and that was an interesting revelation, was that like most of our issues, like the problems that we did have, were stemming from our own like insecurities or our own weaknesses. And so that was very eye-opening, because then the next time something happens and you want to feel a certain way, you're like, wait, that's actually because like I didn't think of this, or I didn't do that, or I didn't communicate this.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, well, I can't be upset with her, it's my fault.
I loved it. I think it was great, and I think it's something we're gonna pick back up once we start a family, because
certainly.
Because when you introduce another, you know, family member into your family, I think it brings on a whole set of challenges, and we want to deal with that head on. Like probably when I'm like 7 months pregnant, we'll start again to make sure we get therapy before there's a problem. You don't have to wait until there's a problem to start therapy. And so we're going to continue with that mindset. Like, okay, you know, this big change in our life is about to happen. Let's go talk to our counselor, get his feedback. You know, therapy is great, but if there's another method in which you deal with, you know, any issues in your life, that is good as well. It's not only therapy. Like some people, you know, go to church and they pray to God and like that's their source of therapy. You know, whatever it is in your life, I just think it's just important for all of us to have that source of relief and healing. Does that make sense?
And growth, yeah.
And growth.
Yeah. So to wrap up this part, I think we should both share one very important lesson we learned from therapy. What is one thing that you learned?
Oh no, I wanted you to go first.
You want me to go first?
Because I gotta think of something.
Okay. All right. My one thing that I learned, which has been very helpful, is using I statements. When you're having a tough conversation, we have a tendency to say, well, you did this, you made me feel this way, you. And when all that does is kind of like attack the person and like put blame and responsibility and accountability on them. And that's not what you're trying to do when you're having a constructive conversation. You're trying to work together to find a mutual understanding and then move forward from that. So when you use I statements, it's like, this is how I felt when this happened. Or this is how I'm feeling right now. Or I would like you to know that. Or something like that. So kind of rephrasing it that way shifts the dynamic there.
Yes, that's something we've been doing a lot. And it's funny because when you start purposely changing the way you speak, you realize how much you did that, how much you were like, you.
Right. It's automatic.
It is. It's like a habit that we all have. So one thing we learned was the phrase, you need. I think a lot of people, when instructing people to do things, they're like, oh, you need to do this or you need to do that. So like that phrase, you need to, is very demeaning. If Cole were to be doing something and, you know, he's like washing the dishes or whatever, and I come over and I was like, you need to dry that better, you need to do this. It's demanding. And I'm his partner. I am not his, you know, I'm not of authority to him. And so at that point, turn things more into a question rather than a demand. And so that was something that we learned. I don't think we do it too much to each other, but we've noticed it being done to us. And so that's something that we like trying to like rephrase the way we think and like how we take that, and then trying to be open with others and communicating with others like, hey, I appreciate like your advice. Do you mind not saying it this way? It kind of like hurts me or something like that.
Yes, things come across much better as a request rather than a demand. So rather than saying you need to do a better job of that, you say, do you mind spending a little more time doing that? I still get to make the decision of doing a better job. And that's my decision. I'm not being told. And adults just don't tell other adults what they should be doing.
Yeah.
We actually see that a lot in the comments section of our stuff. It's like people are constantly saying, you need to do this, or you need to hire a caregiver, you need to get a nanny, or you need to not get tattoos. Or like whatever it is. People love to tell people what they need to do.
That's just something that I think, once again, a societal thing that we do, and I think it's something that we should all try to practice not to do as often. Like Cole said, adults shouldn't be telling other adults like what they need to do. Like, I guess when you're a mother or a father and you have a young child, that's one thing. But I feel like as soon as your child is on their own doing their thing, like they're also an adult, you know? As soon as they turn whatever age you consider an adult, I consider it 18. But I think it's just something like we all should practice. I think it's a good habit.
Yeah.
So I statements and no more you need to.
Right. Let's just be considerate, you know? Speaking of which, I'm considering Sophie, and I think it's going to be time soon to go get her and clean her up.
I'm really excited to see how she's gonna look. I'm really nervous.
Yeah. We'll post a picture on our Instagram page.
Hopefully it's like, this haircut went well and not haircut botch or whatever it's called. Botch?
Haircut fail.
Botch is what I'm looking for.
Botched it. Anyway, yes, that's why we've done marital counseling. We're going to go get Sophie now and show you the results of her haircut.
Let's go.
So apparently Sophie was like the best dog she's ever had on the table. She was still as a statue the whole time. And she was like, I need to know who the trainer was. Sophie! Oh my goodness! Oh, look at you, girl! Oh my goodness!
You're so fluffy!
Oh. Hey, Sophie! Hi, Sophie! Oh.
She's so fluffy! Sophie! Sophie! Hi! Sophie, your face. Oh my gosh, you're so cute. Sophie, let me see that little face.
I've never seen her that fluffy before.
Me neither.
It's so cute.
It is.
And the little bows. It's too much, man. What are you doing?
Let me see your haircut.
Sophie, sit. Good girl.
Wait, let me see your face. Let me see your
Get rid
teddy
of the
bear face.
Oh, wait. Oh.
Sophie, come here. Sophie, sit. Good girl. Let me see your face. Let me see your face. There we go.
She's so fluffy.
You're so fluffy.
I've literally never seen her hair that fluffy before.
Me neither.
I don't know if they put her in a wind tunnel or what, but she looks great.
Let me see your ears. She definitely tried to get them off, so I'll take them off, but she is so cute.
Aww. Happy girl.
Sophie.
And yeah, like we said, the trainer said that she was super still the whole time, very well behaved, so we're proud of Sophie.
Yes, the best dog she's ever worked with.
Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.
You do it.
I had to do it
I don't
because
know
you
what it
can't
on
turn
me.
it around. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and stay positive.
Wait.
I missed it.
There you go.